Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a book review of I Have Some Questions For You by Rebecca Makkai. This is my first 5-star read of 2023. It is a mix between a crime and a literary fiction novel focusing on the murder of a young girl that took place at an elite school in New Hampshire in 1995. And the potential sort of wrongful conviction of someone for that murder. The main character is Bodhi, who is a 40-year-old film professor and podcaster who is invited back to the school that she used to attend, Granby High, to run a 2-week course for some of the students. When Bodhi was a pupil of the school herself, in 1995, one of her friends, Thalia, was murdered. She was found in the swimming pool with head injuries. Somebody was convicted for this crime called Omar, who was a athletics coach at the school. He seemingly confessed to the police, but potentially under duress. And for many years now, there's been a lot of debate online as to whether or not he was wrongly convicted of the crime. And it is of note that he is black. So Bodhi herself, as she goes back to teach this course at the school, is obviously revisiting all of her memories of her time at the school. One of the students who she's teaching decides to do their podcast, which is what the course is about, to do their podcast on this murder case that took place all those years ago. The book in its present day is set in 2018, just for reference, which is at the height of the Me Too movement, which is, I think, it's intentionally that year's chosen for that reason. So we see Bodhi sort of looking back at her time, reevaluating her memories of what happened, the memories of her classmates as well. Bodhi herself has doubts that Omar was the culprit of the murder, and we see Bodhi as she sort of considers each of the different people who were around at the time, considers if that person did it, what would their motive have been, how could they have done it. It's not your usual crime novel because it is very, very slow paced. The plot does progress, but at a very slow pace. So you need, like, if that's not going to be for you, then you're not going to like this book. It is very slow paced, but I really enjoyed where we were sitting and the sort of the questions that we were looking at and the themes that were being considered. A lot of the book is around misogyny and is around the treatment of women at the hands of men. So whilst the murder of Thalia is sort of at the heart of the novel, we also see Bodhi as she looks back at her time at school and at how she and others were treated by different people, particularly the male pupils at the school, in ways that sort of at the time would have been deemed to be quite insignificant things, but actually, amounts to sexual assault in many, many ways. The book is written in the second person, so every so often, and it's not continuous, but every so often we have Bodhi addressing you. And the person that she is addressing as you is someone called Mr. Block, who was a music teacher at the school. And Bodhi has suspicions that Mr. Block had some form of inappropriate relationship with Thalia, and she is considering what possible role he may have had to play in the events. Also, we see in Bodhi's personal life, she is estranged from her husband, and her husband has recently been accused by another woman of being inappropriate in some way and having some form of sort of inappropriate relationship with her. So we see this sort of blow up on Twitter and the impact that this has on Bodhi's life as well. This book reminded me of a couple of my favourite books of recent years, one of which being Animal by Lisa Taddeo, and that's because of the way that it is a very unflinching and realistic, I think, portrayal of the insidiousness of misogyny and sexual assault that women and girls have had to, and I'm sure continue to have to, just sort of deal with on a daily basis. And it also put me in mind of My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, in terms of how it follows a character looking back at the events of the past and sort of reevaluating and reframing what they thought to be true, and looking at that with a different sort of perception. So it put me in mind of both of those two books. Rebecca Makkai has been shortlisted for the Pulitzer in the past for the novel The Great Believers. I personally would not be surprised if this were to be longlisted for the book of this year. I am really hoping actually that it does get listed, because I think it would be deserving of place on the long list. Let me know if you have read this book, what you thought of it, and let me know if you are planning on reading it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.